Back when nothing truly mattered and we hadn't had a clue, we fell in to play the game. Nothing would ever be the same. There were times when there was laughter, there were times when there was joy, but they took it all away for the pleasure in our pain. Welcome to our whole new world. Shine a light on everything. Please don't be scared for what we made. Welcome to our whole new world. All the lion tried to hide away from the scars we made. This is your chance to understand we did not design this plan that was built for you. There's nothing you can do. This is my warning, this is your sign that you can't go running high. We will fight for you. You know it to be true. Welcome to our whole new world. Shine a light on everything. Please don't be scared for what we made. Welcome to our whole new world. All the lions tried to hide away from the scars we made. From the scars we Welcome to our whole new world. Shine a light on everything. Please don't be scared for what we made. Welcome to our whole new world. Shine a light on everything. Please don't be scared for what we made. Welcome to our whole new world. All the lions tried to hide away from the scars we made. Welcome to back when nothing true.
Screaming louder to the waves, fuel burns and the glow of the pixel blaze. The rubber moves rolling, the fist clenched tight. Your TV lights up the endless night. Fight to fight, we live the speed. Our TV feeds our endless need. Heartbeats pounding, engines cry. Best broadcast under the virtual sky. Turn the wheel, feel the breakneck roll. Sim racers tearing through the thunder soul. Gear shifts crack like a lightning storm. Digital warriors breaking the norm. Turn the wheel, feel the breakneck breakneck roll. Sim race till through the thunder soul.
And welcome everyone to the PSRA Fixed ARCA Series at AutoClub Speedway. And my name is Colt Ansley on the Nerditudes broadcast. Sounds a little different tonight, but we're changing a few things up. Got myself up here in the booth leading things. We're going to jump into our pre-race show and take a look at all of the stats for the race tonight on our countdown to green. We are looking at 74 degrees air temperature tonight with our humidity at 55%, partly cloudy, 11 miles an hour on the wind, and as per usual, fixed setup, unlimited tires, and a 1 green-white checker attempt. Got myself yet again, Colt Ansley, along with my partner for this weekend, Dustin Longsy. How you doing, buddy?
Doing pretty good. Looking forward to a race at Legacy Auto Club. Sad that it is no longer actually a real track in real life, but we at least get to enjoy it in the simulated world here on the iRacing service. So should be a good one. 60 laps tonight. Playoff implications on the line, and Cold, I know that we'll be going over the points and who's above the cut line, who's below the cut line, because there's a lot at stake tonight.
There is a lot of stake tonight, and may this beautiful racetrack rest in peace. Never thought I'd miss it until it's gone. So, what's the old saying? You never know it's good till it's gone. But like you said, we get it here tonight, and watching these guys in practice, a lot of racing. It's going to be grouped up, a lot of momentum racing. You see these guys right now just packed up together. It's going to be a really fun race, I think.
And it really is. I mean, this is one of those tracks, this track in Michigan shared a lot of similarities, but I mean, you're going to see, just like what you see on the feed right now, you're going to see a lot of draft pole going down the straightaways, 2 wide, enough room. I mean, there's enough room for 4 wide down the straightaway on that backstretch, but for the most part, probably 2 wide, only pulling out just to try to get that pass when they actually get that draft pole, because it's they're going to feel it if they stay out there too long and too many cars start teaming up on the opposite lane. But I tell you what, Colt, man, when they get to that corner, you're going to see these cars fan out 2, 3, 4, 5 wide. You are going to see them use every lane possible going through those corners.
Yeah, you're right. This racetrack with this package it's that borderline between what we would think of as a traditional super speedway with Daytona, Talladega, and unfortunately now Atlanta, or Echo Park Speedway, excuse me. But this racetrack is got just enough angle in the corners, just low enough amount of banking that you have to breathe the throttle, which means that draft is no longer effectively a draft all the way around the racetrack. It turns into dirty air, which takes the air off the nose, as we've discussed, and it forces these guys to lift. So you're going to see them fan out that wide, just trying to keep some air on the nose. And we're going to see them fan way wide, and then they're going to funnel right back down into 1 or 2 wide there on the backstretch. And going to be a lot of fun to watch as we wrap up practice here. We can talk about the points just a little bit. This is the second and final race of this round, and we will go from 12 drivers down to 8. And we've got a couple guys on the hot seat. Who do you see making it through tonight? Who do you have your eye on above the line or below the cut line?
I tell you what, this is probably one of the tougher battles there, right for that cut line. I mean, you got a number of drivers that are in there that have been performing very well. I mean, Bettini's been performing very well. Runge has been performing very well. Ingram his consistency has stepped up. Steve Rada, I mean, has been very consistent. With the top 10s and everything else. I mean, you got 4 drivers right there that any one of them has the potential to make that cut line. And ultimately, I mean, it's going to be on who can keep themselves clean and out of trouble and be there at the end. The famous words that Jeremy and myself and you always say is, in order to finish first, you first must finish. And that goes true for this track as well as any other. So it's going to be a good battle, especially to try to make that cut.
Yeah, I see a couple of guys who I know are really good at this type of racetrack. You know, Vincent Short, he's finally got a good finish after last week at Richmond. Mark Truxell, we've been sleeping on him all season. I talked about it on last week's broadcast as we get ready for qualifying to start. Derek Runge kind of had a slump in the middle of the season, but he seems to be returning back to form. Like you said, Steve Rada. The one that surprised me is Dominic Bettini. He's the regular season champion, and he's sitting down in 10th, and he's got a little ways to go. So I see him. He's really going to need to put on a good performance tonight. But he's shown some speed in the past couple of weeks. Just hasn't quite got the finishes he's deserved. So I'm gonna keep an eye on him tonight. As we're gonna jump on board with John Freeman, the man, the myth, the legend. The past couple of races, he is coming off of what is that? 3 straight wins. He's looking for his 4th so far, and he's gonna get ready to see if he can lay down a hot lap here in California.
Yeah, 3 straight wins, 4 out of the last 5. I mean, if you want to talk about somebody, and he's electing to try to cancel this, but crosses the line, so that will be a green flag lap. So, but I mean, you want to talk about somebody that's been on fire and has come on in the later stages of this season. It's this man right here whipping some pre qualifying non-victory victory donuts, I guess. We'll call those, but sure.
Getting some heat in the tires.
Yeah, getting a lot of heat in the tires, but yeah, it's he's been, I mean, really coming on strong. You know, very good. I mean, somebody else that's been has been there. I mean, we poke fun at him, but the amount of bridesmaids that he has received, it seems like that's where he keeps getting it. Is Corey Bigley? I mean, he's been there. I mean, the consistency is there, been fantastic. But I'm like you when it comes to Dominique Bettini. I mean, he where Freeman is hitting that mid-season high and that momentum drive, Bettini hit that mid-season low and has just been in that slump and is just now trying to start working his way out of it. And I mean, that's the way of racing. I mean, that's how it goes. I mean, sometimes you're hot. Sometimes if it wasn't for bad luck, you wouldn't have any luck at all.
Well, I know that feeling personally, being in the open series that we run on Sunday nights with Track Limits. I myself was the regular season champion, and due to scheduling conflicts, I won't make this race Sunday night, and therefore I'm out of the playoffs. I got knocked out after not winning Richmond, and that's just the way racing goes. You know, I had hit my peak kind of in the middle of the season, and was running consistently well, getting top 3s, top 4s, top 5s. And then I haven't finished in the top 5 in the past 4 races. So that's the ebb and flow of racing. Another guy I want to talk about that we kind of glossed over is Brandon Schumann. Got a win early on in the season, but he's kind of been, if Corey Bigley has been the bridesmaid and not the bride, he's been Brandon Schumann's been the bridesmaid to Corey Bigley. He's been hanging out in that 3rd and 4th position nearly every single race. And he just hasn't quite stepped over that line to get to victory lane. But I think he's safely through to the next round. But those are, I think, the top 3 that we're going to be watching for the championship. Yeah,
I mean, either way you break it down, it's going to be a great race, great battle to try to get those last qualifying spots. Speaking of qualifying, we got about a minute and a half left. Colt, right now, Joshua Ingram, one of your drivers that is trying to make that cut. Sitting on the pole, 39.59, only driver in the .5s right now. And another driver also trying to do it, Dominique Bettini, just clocked in at P3 at a 39.6, but Derek Runge, another driver trying to make that cut at a 39.59, so tied with your pole sitter, had to go to the 3rd or 4th decimal point on that one. So, I mean, if we're talking about stuff heating up right now, I mean, right there, you've got 3 names that out of all of them that we've been talking about for that playoff hunt that are in the top 4. So it's gonna be a battle from the drop of the green flag all the way to the checkered.
Yeah, I agree. We're looking at 4 100ths of a second. 4 1,000ths of a second between the pole position and 5th place. And Josh Ingram, we saw him last week at Richmond gaining bonus points, staying out to lead laps. And that's 5 extra bonus points. And if you start on pole, that's an extra bonus point.
Great call. Absolutely great call.
So if he can secure this pole, which I don't see anyone on track right now, which means he's probably going to lock this down, that's a bonus point right off the bat. That's what he needs to do. And if he can hang on for the lead, if everybody stays calm and he can just maintain, that's 6 points before we've completed the second lap of the race.
Yeah, and points are going to be ever valuable. I mean, and right now Ingram is tallying those points up, that's what's needed. But again, those points are only going to be helpful if he can finish the race. I mean, we got 12 entries right now, but I mean, we've seen worse things happen. I mean, if you get taken out early in the race, you ended up finishing 12th. Well, guess what? Those 6 points that you just tallied up, I mean, they're pretty much going to get wiped out in a bad position. So to capitalize on that, I mean, you still got to have a decent finish tonight.
Right, yeah, and I 100% agree. And there is going to be attrition. We've seen that every single week. But with that said, we wrapped up qualifying here. We didn't really even cover anybody's onboard cameras. We were chatting about points, but let's go over the starting grid for tonight's race. As we mentioned, Joshua Ingram on pole tonight. He desperately needed that, and mind you, won the Daytona Open race. So keep that in mind. Derek Runge tied down to the 1,000th of a second. He'll round out the front row. Third place is going to be Corey Bigley, with fourth place Dominic Bettini right next to him. Rounding out the top 5 is Vincent Short, with Brandon Schumann to his right side. Frank Griffith is going to qualify in 7th, with Keenan Kimber in 8th. Steve Rada gets 9th place with John Van Blaricom. You may also see him as Chase Rockford, rounding out the top 10. And so that is going to be our starting grid for tonight's race.
Well, Freeman and Truxell are 11th and 12th on that one there. So Freeman, you've seen him doing his pre-qualifying non-victory donuts. But not a bad idea. I mean, if you think about it, Freeman's already locked in. He knows he's moving on to the next round already, just on points. So, you know what? Go out there, just kind of work your way through. You've talked about it time and time again. This is my first time in the booth on Thursdays. It's usually yourself and Jeremy that's doing it, but I've heard Mark Truxell's name mentioned a lot of times on that. Very methodical driver, very calculated. One of the better long-run drivers on tire conservation, and that's important. I mean, by classification, this track, by NASCAR standards, is considered a super speedway. Anything 2 miles or more is considered a super speedway, but it's not a full throttle. You do have to lift in the corners. There is tire conservation. You will heat these tires up, and if these tires get too heated up, you're not going to be able to take these corners the way that you would on fresh tires. So having that ability in your back pocket, like you talk about with Truxell. Vincent Short was another one that was mentioned on that conservation on these longer ones. That's going to be an ace in the back pocket there to have for a race like tonight.
100% agree. And I mean, the bumps of this place, even under paced laps, you could see these cars bobbing up and down. Even though this is a fixed setup, iRacing still builds the cars to set as low as they can, and just bobbing up and down. That's going to affect the cars entering turn 3. And the corners are even bumpy, and all these seams, as wide as they are, these are 4 or 5 inch wide seams. They're going to get hot and they're going to get slick. And so these guys are going to have to really, really take care of their stuff tonight, as here we come off of turn 4. Pace car going to dip down this time. For initial start, we go on the green flag. Barney's got the flag in hand. And we are green at California. Josh Ingram leading the way. Corey Bigley behind him as they go up through the gears. Good start for Derek Runge. Gets a good shift up through into fourth gear as they go. Runge with a solid push from Bettini. Seemed like Josh Ingram didn't get a good start there initially, as Runge is going to power around the outside and take the lead pretty handily here as Corey Bigley takes a look to the outside.
Yeah, Runge is going to power on that outside right now, in good command to lead this opening lap. And as we talked about, Colt, that's going to be 5 bonus points towards that championship hunt as Runge goes from the top side down to the low side. Get that good secure line coming off the corner. Derek Runge will gain the first points for leading the first lap. And I agree. It looked like Joshua Ingram did not get the start that he liked. He started in first, and by the time they made it all the way around, he's already slotted in 5th position and now under attack from the 65 of Keenan Kimber. So that's another driver that's trying to bid for the championship spot. But this is what we were talking about, Colt. 3 wide, 4 wide down the back stretch as they're trying to jockey, but most of them in a line. But when they hit this corner here, you're going to see them fan out all over the place.
Well, you see these guys initially, you saw them just kind of cutting the corner as low as they can, not really sweeping. And as Keenan Kimber is going to push Corey Bigley across the line, Bettini's going to push Runge across the line. There's a pretty hefty draft here. You saw on the initial start, they were 2 wide through the corner, and man, before they were even halfway down the backstretch, everyone was jumping up into that top line to try to maintain their momentum and break the momentum of the guys behind them. And that left Josh Ingram down there on the bottom with nowhere to go. Oh, almost contact between Vincent Short and Steve Rada. What a save. And spinner. Corey Bigley down into the grass.
Oh, hold on to it. What a save. Holding on to it. Merges back up. Excellent car control. Great save, especially if we're going over that. He's going to lose a lot of time. But if there is a caution, he can make that back up. Or if he can at least ping the draft of Mark Truxell back there, you know, he may have a chance. There's still a lot of time. We're only working lap 4 of 60. But what a fantastic save from the driver of the 28.
And I don't know if you've ever been down in that grass, but there is no grip down there. It is slippery and jumping over those bumps. I mean, you're not just keeping the wheel straight. You do have to fight the race car. It looks like just a bump gone wrong by Keenan Kimber. You know, Bigley had his nose down and maybe trying to get some air, trying to figure out where he was going to go. And Keenan had a good run and just, didn't lift and either thought he was going to hit him square or just didn't, think he was there. And unfortunately, it tagged Bigley, but that could have been way worse than it was.
Oh, definitely.
We have another battle for the lead. Dominic Bettini down to the bottom. And look at Steve Rada just out of nowhere in the top 5, and he's going to dip down to the bottom. Not quite enough room. Brandon Schumann's going to fill that hole.
Yeah, a little contact there between Schumann and Rada on that one. It's going to slow the momentum for the driver of the number 3. But now we've seen Bettini was trying to go for it. That's going to flip-flop now, as now you have Keenan Kimber down on the inside of Derek Runge. Runge on the top side. Vincent Short behind him. Keenan Kimber down low with Dominic Bettini behind him. But look at this. I mean, we're going 3 and 4 different lanes down that straightaway like that as they're trying to search for draft.
This looks like mid-2000s Talladega for the Cup Series. You could be in the lead 1 second and 25th the next, and it's just everybody flip-flopping. It seems like if you can't get the pass done at the halfway mark of the corner, you got to get up into your lane or you're going to lose a ton of ground. And that's what we saw happen to Steve Rada. But look at Vincent Short. He dives down to the bottom, drives it in really, really deep. Can he clear up in front of Derek Runge? Runge is not going to give him that corner. He's going to leave that right rear exposed, and he's going to maintain. But Brandon Schumann goes with him. Keenan Kimber goes with him. Josh Ingram. We have a full bottom line formed. Vincent Short leads that lap. That's 5 bonus points for him.
Yeah, and I tell you, that was a fantastic attempt, too. Good attempt at that slider line. And that slider line, Colt, I mean, if anybody out there listening knows anything about dirt racing, that slider line, you take that low, fast entry like that in hopes that you're going to have the momentum to clear, and then you pull that slide job. You slide right back up in front of them on corner exit and cut their momentum. But usually in doing that, heavy contact. 2-3 cars hit the contact. But usually in doing that, Colt, it sets up that crossover maneuver from the car that just got passed, and that's when you see some of the best racing.
Yeah, 100% agree. Man, what a hard hit for Vincent Short. I don't know if that gave him any damage. He immediately chirped onto the radio, I'm staying high, trying to take care of all the guys around him. Definitely not trying to hold anyone up. He is letting them know, I hit the wall, I broke my momentum. And kudos to Dominic Bettini. Didn't run him over on that. I know he glanced the wall a little bit, but didn't immediately dive out of line. He got the 15's momentum going. Not that he's trying to take care of the 15 and push him to the win, but he's, that's respect. That's respect going as we are 4 wide down the straightaway here. Yes. How's this going to work?
4 wide down the straightaway. You had Frank Griffith down on that apron. I mean, they were side by side with Griffith and Ingram. Short and Keenan Kimber were all 4 wide down the straightaway, still trying to get it figured out. Finally get it sorted out. Now it's just Frank Griffith down there. He gets the assignment and moves back up in the draft. Derek Runge still leading up front, though, but Brandon Schumann, we had talked about him in pre-race, running fantastic in P2 right now, battle for 3rd place as Steve Rada scrapes the wall. He's battling 3rd place right now with Dominic Bettini.
You know what I see interesting here is we're 10 laps into this run, and they are still down on the white line. I fully expected them to already be 2 or 3 grooves up this race, or this stage of the race, and you know they're slowly drifting up in the corners. They're not staying on the white line all the way around. But I'm noticing with these cooler track temperatures that we're looking at, you know, hanging around the mid 70s, Vincent Short trying to claw back his positions that he lost there. But these guys have the grip down on the bottom. You see Steve Rada there getting a little loose, but using that apron to turn. That's an old school move. We haven't seen that in a long time.
Yeah.
But, you know, getting that left front down below the line, upsetting the car just a little bit, getting it to turn, that's a smart move.
It definitely is, especially on a fixed setup too, where again the drivers don't have a lot of ability to tighten or loosen the car up to their driving, style, so to speak. So I mean, there's little tricks out there that a lot of these drivers that have been doing this since the inception of iRacing and even before that in its predecessor NASCAR Racing 2003 season, that they know little tips or tricks to be able to use the track to loosen the car up if it is more on the tight side for their liking. So it's great to see these abilities. Oh, Ingram a little wobbly coming off the corner there. Got real close to the 52 of Schumann.
Indeed, and Steve Rada got a little wobbly off the corner there. They split him 3 wide. Vincent Short trying to claw back up. Frank Griffith trying to make some moves, but it seems like every time he makes a move, it's 1 step forward, 2 steps back. It's 4 wide in the corner. Look who showed up, John Freeman.
Yeah, Freeman working his way forward right now on the inside of Frank Griffith. Now 2 wide as those two are still duking it out, still battling up front. Derek Runge still leading it, but Dominic Bettini, Joshua Ingram side-by-side battle for P2. Right now, draft help goes to the 56 of Joshua Ingram.
What a big run. Oh, big run down the front stretch for Josh Ingram. He's going to dip down to the bottom. Brandon Schumann's going to go with him. Bettini stays up high as we again have a battle for lead. Side by side, will the top line start to prevail at this point as the cars are starting to lose grip. They're starting to drift up. Brandon Schumann is going to dip to the inside, 3 wide for second place.
Yeah, 3 wide for second place now, too. Schumann down a lane lower than the draft help behind him of Vincent Short. And Freeman back there, but right now your top 2, Derek Runge, Dominic Bettini, 3 wide battle for third right now coming off the corner.
Close racing here at California, or AutoClub Speedway, excuse me, as we are battling hard under the lights. Oh, Frank Griffin and Steve Rada. Contact in the corner. That is a bad place to be making contact with someone, especially on the right rear quarter panel. Good on both of them to be able to save it, get off of each other, as they're going to be 3 wide with John Freeman. But man, Derek Runge hanging on to the lead. He has led all 14 laps up to this, or leading the 13 laps up to this point. And man, the leader has just been protected all race. I thought he was going to be a sitting duck. We'd be swapping the lead around, every other lap. But he's done a great job maintaining tonight. But, what do you say? We have heard these guys keeping these engines wound up tight tonight. What do you say we turn up the tunes and see how these things sound blare in the speakers? we are back at AutoClub Speedway. Hope y'all enjoyed hearing those cars screaming around the track. But man, we got a big implications tonight. Vincent Short slams the wall pretty hard. He'd gotten it a couple times, but I believe he's got some suspension damage. Coming off of the corner here. And, oh, contact with Frank Griffith. Just going for the same piece of real estate, it looked like. And, unfortunately, two cars don't fit in the space of one.
Yeah, that was tough. You know, and that's one of the toughest things, though, is you realize that a run's not working, so you try to put your car right back into a spot that you think is there. But what you don't realize is on a track like this, those spots close up so fast because of that draft pull, and it's exactly what happened there. It closed up faster than what anybody was thinking. And unfortunately, like I said, Frank Griffith, Vincent Short, they take the hit on that one there, as they have to come down pit road for service. And while we were listening to the sights and sounds of these fantastic ARCA cars on this amazing legacy track, we were also talking about Corey Bigley. Even prior to that contact, he was making ground up, and he was moving forward more and more and more. And we were talking, Colt, a lot of that is because these drivers are racing so hard. They're not doing the typical, single line going down the backstretch, maybe two lines with a lot of draft help. I mean, they're sporadic all over the place, sometimes going three wide, minimal draft, and that's actually slowing them up, while Corey's back here just running his line and slowly reeling them in.
Yeah, and we'll see after that. It seems like after that incident between Frank and with Vincent that they've kind of spread out just a bit. So maybe we'll see if they could start winding up some momentum there and see if he could start still reel them in, or if they're going to start pulling away from him here. Another thing to consider, he's got essentially clean air. And so he's got all the air on the nose. He's got the best grip that he can imagine. At this rate, he doesn't really have much dirty air, being as far back as he is. So he's in a good position. He just doesn't have that extra draft to help him down the straightaway. But he's definitely gonna be one to watch. If he can come back from this, that's gonna be a tall climb, especially without a caution. As these guys are still squabbling for the lead. But look who decided to show up, for John Freeman, all the way up to third place.
Yeah, and you were mentioning too, when we were also talking about this, that Derek Runge has been in that protected first place. And Colt, it looks like that being in the lead is the safest place. And the reason for that is because anytime second place gets a run built up to try to make a stab at trying to take over the lead, just like what you see, third place goes up and starts attacking second place. And now we got a battle for the lead as Freeman's trying to make that move there, but is not going to stick. Contact. Bettini off the wall. Slight contact with Freeman, but he holds on to it.
What a save by John Freeman, man. I thought he was going to go right around. But, I mean, as you were talking about it, the exact thing happened. You saw Dominic Bettini. He got a good run out of turn 4, drafted right up to the back of the 99 of Derek Runge, and that pulls the 42 along as Kimber smacks the wall pretty hard. But that pulled the 42 right along. He got a good run, and rather than push the 49 around the 99, he dove to the inside himself. And, I mean, it gained him a position. But now what is Dominic Bettini going to do? He saw that the 42 isn't going to go with him. Are they going to work together to get past the 99, or are they going to keep squabbling amongst themselves and just let him get away?
Yeah, and we've been hearing a lot of reports from some of the drivers too that, I mean, we are working lap 26 of 30. Colt, this race is nearing the halfway point already, and the word on a lot of the team radios, tight. And we see that with as many wall bangs off of corner 4 and off of corner 2. These drivers are now starting to not only battle the other drivers, but now they're starting to battle the track as we got a pass for the lead happening. John Freeman to the bottom, gets around, but that crossover, contact.
Oh, contact.
Side by side.
Slid up.
Yep, side by side off that corner. Runge on the inside, Freeman on the outside. Bettini goes down for draft help with the 99. Side by side going in the corner, but that was that crossover. Excellent slider line by the 42 of Freeman, but then that crossover was set up perfectly for the 99 as he takes it over. Hard contact from Freeman.
Runge decided to clear himself up just a little bit, and 42 just nowhere to go, kind of clips the wall. That was the move you got to make, but man, you got to be able to protect yourself going down the backstretch there, and there's really not a whole lot he could do. He pulled the slider just a bit too early in the corner, got ahead of the 99 just a tick too early. But the problem is if you don't get ahead of him right then and there, there's nowhere really for you to go. As he's going to rebuild that momentum down the back, push the 49 of Bettini. Another interesting thing I saw was the 49 pushed Derek Runge into the corner. I expected Runge to overdrive the corner just a bit, having that push from the back as well as another car being right behind that spoiler. I mean, that upsets the rear of the car. That loosens it up. And great job by both of those guys to not, Joey Logano and Denny Hamlin into the corner where they lose that side force, slide up into each other and wreck. They did a good job maintaining that. As Freeman back to the bottom, Runge right across the 42's nose. He's going to get that dirty air right across the front right quarter or front right part of the nose on Freeman's car, and that's really going to just drop a ton of dirty air onto his car, make him really tight into the corner. These two need to get their family squabble figured out. That way they can get around the 99, or they're just going to let him run away.
Yeah, and that was an excellent defensive line by the 99 of Runge, too. He knows that Freeman's taken that very low entry through the entrance and apex of the corner. So what's the best way to defend against that? Take a mid-entry down and go down to that bottom line to block it as well. Like you said, puts that dirty air on the front nose, and you've seen the distance that it put on the 42 that Runge did just by doing that, because he had to readjust. He had to pedal it out of it. He had to reset, and he lost that momentum, but now he's back on the attack.
John Freeman once again to the inside. Is he going to try to slide up in front of him, or not enough room to make it? Going to drift up just a tick? Take that side force away from the cars. Runge gets into the wall. First time we've seen him do that tonight. And now we have a 2-by-2 line as Kimber's going to push John Freeman. Bettini is going to push Derek Runge down the front straightaway. We really have two different packs running right now. We have these four, battling it out for the lead. But then we have another pack. We have Mark Truxell in 5th place, leading that second line, and Corey Bigley has caught back up to that. We have Mark and Brandon Schumann and Corey Bigley. They're trying to stay in line here while these are all squabbling around to maintain and get back to that lead pack to get a chance to take the lead.
Yeah, and that separation came from that contact between Griffith and Short, where drivers had to check up, take evasive maneuvers, so they are trying to make that back up. But they are, the more that these four drivers here keep going back and forth, and we've seen a swap for position for third. Keenan Kimber in that 65 machine is taking over the third spot. Freeman still in second, trying to chase down the 99. But you see that second pack, they're slowly moving forward. Actually, Bigley is now side by side with Schumann as they're battling it out for that 6th spot.
And now we're starting to see cars work their way up the racetrack now. We have a pass from the outside there is Mark Truxell. He's coming on the pit road.
Yeah.
I didn't look at the fuel. Are they going to be able to make it tonight, or is that a unscheduled pit stop for the 5?
And that's one thing that I did not look at either. That's normally not something I look at. That's Jeremy. We'll blame Jeremy for that one. You know what? He's usually the one.
Let's do it.
He's not here to defend himself. It's Jeremy's fault. Gosh darn it. But
and while we watch that, we have a new leader of the race.
Yeah, John Freeman was able to get around Derek Runge on that. But if they can't make it, you're past that halfway point. You can make it to the end on this one here. So if they do not have enough virtual Sunoco race fuel to make it to the end, the halfway point is that point of safe return. You can make it to the end. So we'll have to keep an eye on it. Is Truxell's in? We have a couple drivers in. So you got
Chase Rockford.
Yep, Chase Rockford is coming in as well. So it very well could be that these are scheduled pit stops.
Now, I'm mixing up all 15 drivers we got out here. Derek Runge under attack by Keenan Kimber. Going to the pass for the lead there, John Freeman has had enough practice trying to get past the 99 tonight. He slid up right in front of him at the perfect time, basically just kind of stopped in the middle of the corner. The 99 got into the back of him ever so slightly as he's coming back for the lead right now. But just time that run just perfectly, and enough to where the 99 couldn't cut back down underneath him and had no choice but to either give position or run into the back of him. He kind of did a little bit of both.
Yeah, as we just seen that on the Nerd TV replay. Again, taking a few notes out of the playbook of the 99 there on that defensive line there. Take away their their line and their strategy to get by, and that's the result. But now we got a battle for the lead. Now Keenan Kimber on the inside of Freeman. Door
Oh, it gets a
contact
little
there.
tight.
Now Runge on the inside of Kimber. And now we got a battle for second place. Actually, it's a 3-wide battle for second place. It's now we got Bettini up top. Oh my! You would Colt. You would
They
think
look
that
like the Blue Angels out there.
they
in
do
formation.
in formation, or you would think that this was the last lap battle. We still got 25 to go.
Yeah, but as we talked about, you can swap positions around between the top 4 guys, but that lead, you got to get to that lead, or you're in trouble, because if it seems like the leader is in the safest position. I'm wondering myself too if Derek Runge might have burned his tires off ever so slightly. We've seen that he is really fast for the majority of the run, but he falls off really hard towards the end. Whereas John Freeman, he comes on late in the run. He's pretty quick early on, but not fantastic, and he builds up that speed as the run goes on, to the point that when you get down the last 10-15 laps of a run, he's just lights out faster. And I'm wondering if he has saved a little bit of his stuff. I don't know how, because he's passed a ton of cars, started dead last tonight.
Yeah, the entire field.
But yeah, dodged all but a full wreck, and several guys bouncing off of each other as Derek Runge back down to the bottom, all the way onto the white line.
Yeah,
That car is starting to get a little bit tight. As Keenan Kimber, he's floating around up top. He's going to build that momentum. Steve, he's got enough room. And he gets the wall and loses connection. Can he make that car fit? Get a good run down the front straightaway. He'll maintain second position as we have lost. Where Dominic Bettini goes? He on pit road.
Bettini is coming down pit road, yes. So, again, 23 laps to go. Your driver that was battling for third place, Dominic Bettini, is down pit road. But you said it best. I mean, we talked about drivers that had good long run ability, and Freeman's name was one we didn't mention. But on long green flag runs over the last 5 races that he's participated in, remember, he's won 4 out of the last 5. His long run, momentum is just phenomenal on that, and it very well could be is Keenan Kimber, Corey Bigley down pit road.
And I'm wondering myself if these guys are thinking that tire, having that grip is going to mean more pitting early, pitting late, trying to get as much grip as they can. I'm wondering if Freeman either is waiting for a caution or if he thinks that he can make it all the way, because he is running really long here. And Derek Runge, what else has he got to lose but to follow the 42? That's probably his best bet.
Not anymore.
I say that he's going to tip on the pit road.
Not anymore, he says. So, yeah, it's the way it's looking is everybody's going to have to come down pit road. That's going to cycle Runge out of second place. That's going to now pass it on to Brandon Schumann in the 52. Freeman still staying out. So teammates electing to stay out. 1 and 2, Freeman and Schumann right now. Question is, Colt, do they have to come down pit road? And if they do, when are they coming down pit road? Because we know fresh tires are going to make a difference. We know that fresh tires and old tires will eventually equalize out. Every track is different on that, but that is definitely something, and here's our answer right now. Freeman coming down pit road. There's your race leader coming down. Yep, and Schumann as well. So this will round out the last bit of green flag scheduled stops. Everybody is done. Question is, who is going to come out with the lead after all of this?
We're going to see how much that grip of the first couple of laps, we've talked about these general tires being notoriously hard and notoriously difficult to get heat and temperature into. But look at that speed difference. Mark Truxell is going to come out ahead of Derek Runge. I am really surprised. He was, 4 or 5 seconds back, leading that second line. Now, the question is has he burned off enough tires? And you might be able to answer this a little bit, but has he burned off enough tires that when Derek Runge gets back to him, he's going to have the better grip? Is that 4 or 5 laps going to make that much of a difference?
And it all depends on how much they've run it, how hard they've ran. That's the hardest thing, is you see the rest of everybody coming out. Freeman's coming out. But it all depends on how much they have run those tires down. Now, remember, these tires, it's going to take about 3 to 4 laps to get them up to temp, up to pressure, for them to hit their peak ability like that, to where it stabilizes and it sustains. So I mean, by lap 15, Derek Runge, John Freeman, Corey Bigley, all those drivers, their tires are going to be at the the optimal temps, the optimal pressures for them to start attacking. And I mean, you're already seeing it right now. I mean, Derek Runge is already on the attack. He's already trying. Now battle for the race lead between Truxell and Runge.
And look at the gap behind them of John Freeman. I mean, he was a couple tenths ahead of Derek Runge, and he is now about 2 seconds back. But Corey Bigley, through that cycle, has gained ground. So it's interesting to see the winners and the losers in that pit cycle there as he has caught back up to at least a position he can gain. But they're a little bit further back from the leaders than they'd want to be. But Dominic Bettini, he maintained right along with Derek Runge, and they pitted a lap apart. So this is going to be interesting to see how these lines cycle out, as he's going to take that position from Mark Truxell. And well, I say that Mark gets a good run off the top. That's good for Freeman and for Rada and Bigley back there in that second pack. Those two side by side. That's going to drag them back and let them get into the draft, pull them up to the lead.
Yeah, and I mean, it really is. And at the end, we say it all the time. Races are made and lost on pit road. I mean, every driver takes pit road entry differently, especially green flag pit stops. Caution flags, or pit stops under caution. I mean, you're pretty much just at how quick your pit crew is, your virtual pit crew is, and how easy you are on the throttle not to sit here and just, smoke the tires on the way out, actually allow them to get traction. But green flag pit stops, every driver's got a different approach. Depending on how hard you want to drive it in or how conservative you want to drive it in, that's either time lost or time gained on pit road, which means a lot of time lost or gained on the track. I mean, you see it in super speedways all the time. At Daytona, Talladega for green flag pit stops. That's how you get those packs separated, and that's how some of these drivers were able to gain as much time as what they did, like Truxell. Truxell, like you said, was in that second pack. He's now running P3 right now with your two top runners of Runge and Bettini. So excellent pit stops by a lot of these drivers to put them in fantastic positions.
Yeah, and like you mentioned, with the being able to make it onto pit road, that's a difficult pit road entry. It just kind of appears out of nowhere. You're on the banking, and then you're onto the flat really abruptly. It upsets the car really, really badly. You got to make sure your brake bias is set. Not that you really use your brakes on the racetrack typically, but you got to make sure your brake bias is set so you don't lock them up, spin it out, as well as you can't fire it off in there too quickly or you'll speed. And somebody that all of a sudden disappeared off the radar, Keenan Kimber. He's show us out of the race in 10th place. I'm wondering if he might have sped on pit road, and unfortunately had to just throw his race away because there was nothing else he could do there, or possibly spun out exiting pit road, damaged the race car, maybe tried to tow, that way he wouldn't bring out a yellow and mess up anyone else's race. But he was battling for third place, and all of a sudden now he's going to finish in at least the 10th position. But that's some playoff implications. Looking at my other screen here, Keenan Kimber was somebody battling for the points.
Yeah. Yep. I mean, it's tough. It's pit road, something that, you can do everything right on the track for half of the race, 30 to 35 laps out of a 60-lap race, and one thing on pit road can just wipe out all of the rights that you've been doing on the track. I mean, and it's tough. Like you said, every pit road is different depending on the track. Some are easier to get, enter on. Some not so much. And, I mean, brake bias, locking them up, there's a lot you have to worry about. And a lot of things can go wrong. And, I mean, even taking your tires off of the track, hitting that pit entry commitment cone, unsafe pit entry. I mean, that's enough to sit here and, a 40-second hold here, detrimental.
Absolutely. As it looks like that lead pack is kind of gapping the second group there. Mark Trucks will get stuck behind Chase Rockford. He's going to lose a little bit of ground. But we're coming down to 13 laps to go. Let's get our last break out of the way. That way we can bring you all the way to the checkered flag. And hopefully they'll stay green all the way to the end of this race here.
Hey, can you do me a favor? I'm really hungry, but I'm trapped in here, and I dropped my last piece of boozy jerky on the floor. I can't reach it. Would you mind grabbing me a bag of the most tender, flavorful booze-infused jerky on the planet? I promise I'll pay you back. I mean, I'd eat my piece, but I can't reach it. Oh, actually, I got it. Oh, it's so good. It's so tender, so flavorful. You should really pick yourself up a bag. But if you do, you can't eat it in here. Now, this is my spot. I own this spot. Boozy jerky. The original booze-infused beef jerky with a pair.
And we are back at AutoClub Speedway. 8 laps to go. Derek Runge maintaining the lead as this has turned into a 2-pack race with the top 3 and the 3rd to 6th place car. I'm sorry, the top 5, and then Steve Rada, who's a lap down, hanging on there, trying to maintain the draft with these guys. But a lot of really hard races, even though they've fanned out, and the big pack we had watched earlier has kind of dwindled. Still some pretty hard racing. Mark Truxell drives really deep into the corner trying to get to the back of Dominic Bettini.
Yeah, and I mean, he made an attempt during our commercial break there as well, and then we also seen Bettini tag the turn 4 wall pretty hard on the last lap. But, I mean, Truxell still holding on strong. He still has some fight in that number 5 machine. He's not giving up just yet. 7 laps to go. Like you said, Derek Runge in control of this race right now. As long as he doesn't overdrive it, doesn't burn the stuff up, he has got a good chance on doing it. That second pack slowly starting to reel him in, but not as fast as what they need to happen. In order for Freeman and Bigley to get up there to try to challenge, they need to make some ground up and make ground up fast.
And taking a look at the points, I can tell you who is Mark Truxell's biggest fan right now. It is Steve Rada. He does not want the 49 of Dominic Bettini to get this win. I mean, he wouldn't particularly want Derek Runge to get the win either, but if Dominic Bettini gets this, he's behind Steve Rada in points. That would lock Bettini into the next round, potentially kicking Rada out of the playoffs. So he is currently Mark Truxell's #1 fan, hoping that either A, he can get by both of those guys and get the win, or at least he can drag back the 49 enough to prevent him from going up there, taking the lead from Derek Runge and potentially running off with this race win.
Yeah, and that's what he's trying. He keeps poking that nose to the inside there, trying to get those runs. And, I mean, it may not seem like much, but, Colt, what that's doing is that is slowing down the 49 of Bettini and preventing any runs that he has on the 99 of Runge. So, I mean, it is happening, but Bettini gets an excellent run going in the corner, drifts up a little high there, going to lose that momentum. That's going to bring Truxell right back to his rear bumper.
But that's going to create a massive draft down the backstretch for both of these guys. As you get a gap of 1 or 2 tenths, sometimes 3 or 4 tenths behind a car, and that creates a massive vacuum between the back of the car in front of you and the nose of your car, and it just pulls you way up there. As Bettini just driving the wheels off of it, smacking the wall on entry and exit of that end of the racetrack. Mark Truxell tried to find a little bit of grip up high, didn't really work out for him, drifted back just a little bit, but now he's in that slingshot position. If he can maintain that draft, he's got a good chance of getting a good solid slingshot and trying to get past the 49. But we're running out of time here, but look at John Freeman. He has closed that gap ever so slightly. If he can get within about 7 to 6 tenths of Mark Truxell, he'll start sniffing that draft, and that will improve their straightaway speed. And, man, they're going to look like Kyle Busch did that restart in, I believe it was Talladega, where he goes flying by everyone just because of that massive amount of momentum that they're going to be carrying with as we come down to 3 laps to go.
Yeah, 3 laps to go, and you see Truxell trying to work that draft, trying to close in right now, but evenly spaced right now, about 2 to 3 car lengths in between each of your top 3 podium sitters right now. But like you said, there in the shot, you can see Freeman, Bigley slowly closing in, 3 laps to go. If they can close that gap, I don't know if it's going to be enough for a win, but they could definitely have enough to battle 3rd place and possibly 2nd, though. So we'll have to see what happens. They are closing it now. Down to about 7 car lengths is the distance between 3rd and 4th. It's getting close, Colt. 2 laps to go.
Yeah, they are starting to sniff that draft just a little bit. It's not helping them in the corners just yet. Or they're in that point that it is not affecting them in the corners, but it is helping them down the straightaway. They might have a chance at this as they go down to the backstretch. Mark Truxell trying to take 2nd place away. That is what Derek Runge wants to see. as they get a little bit of a gap into turn 3. Truxell to the bottom. Bettini cuts off the nose off of turn 4. Here they come, coming to the white flag. 1 lap to go, sponsored by absolutely no one. Derek Runge is going to take the white flag as John Freeman is there. Corey Bigley is there. Can these guys build up any sort of run going into the turn 1 here? Big block by Bettini down to the bottom. John Freeman to the outside. He has appeared out of nowhere. He's going to get past the 5 on Mark Truxell. Can he carry the momentum up top? Derek Runge is loving this. This is exactly what he needs. He's up to about a 0.5 of a second lead. Unless he screws this up, he might be in the catbird seat. He might be able to pull this off. Freeman to the bottom. Drives all, way deep into the corner to Bettini. Using all the apron, Bettini is going to carry the momentum on the outside. Corey Bigley, he's coming to the outside. Into the wall he goes. But no one is going to touch Derek Runge off the final corner. He's going to win in California.
Oh, man, what a battle for P2. And Freeman does snipe second place on that run there. What a run from Freeman and Bigley. I mean, they come back from, I mean, they were about 1.5 seconds, 2 seconds back, and they come back to finish P2 and P4. And like you said, that's exactly what the 99 of Derek Runge wanted. I mean, typically we watch the leader come by to take the checkered flag, but I mean, that race from second through 5th was just phenomenal. we couldn't turn away.
Oh, and you want to see a crazy stat? For second and third place of John Freeman and Dominic Bettini, the exact same distance to the leader. 5:61. And I mean, they tied all the way down to the 10th or the 1,000th of a second. They tied for second place. And I was watching the 99, thus calling that. I left them out. That was the battle for the win there. But man, my heart breaks for Mark Truxell. He still comes out of here with a top 5. I thought he had a chance to come home and win that thing. And big run down the back for John Freeman. Got the Truxell tight, and he falls back as they are able to carry that momentum. Derek Runge burning it down on the AutoClub logo down there in the infield.
Yeah, I mean, and it wasn't through lack of effort. I mean, Truxell was trying. He had been trying for about the last 15 laps to try to time that run right. And at the end, it was Freeman and Bigley that came in that kind of forced him out of that line, and he lost that draft. Still come home in a top 5 though. So fantastic job on that. One of your biggest movers. I mean, your 2 big movers finished in the top 5. That was John Freeman, who was up 9 positions, and Mark Truxell himself up 7 positions. So fantastic job and drive by those guys.
Yeah, and a clean race we saw. I mean, we only had the incident between Frank Griffin and Vincent Short, and but clean racing all around. A little bit of contact with the outside wall we saw, but not a lot of car-to-car contact. These guys raced really hard and really clean all night long, but just they couldn't quite build that run. I am really surprised to see the leader had so much power over the field tonight. I really thought that was going to be just a rotating door for these guys.
And Colt, flag to flag, all that racing we seen, all the door-to-door contact, the wall slams, the wall scrapes, even the contact between Frank Griffin and Vincent Short. I mean, everything that we've seen, flag to flag, green flag, all the way to the checkered. So fantastic job by these drivers.
100% agree. These guys really put on a great show tonight, and man, that was fun. That was a really fun race. I really enjoyed that one.
Absolutely.
But we're gonna get into our interview portion of our post-race show.
Well, before we do that, I'm going to go through the results. I'll give you a break on this. And you know what? I got to say you did a fantastic job. First time leading a broadcast, did a fantastic job. So for everybody out there watching live and everybody that goes back and watches, Colt did a fantastic job. So I'm going to do the post-race results, the unofficial results for the ProSim Racing Alliance Fixed ARCA Series. Obviously, Derek Runge, John Freeman, Dominic Bettini. We'll be talking to those 3 here momentarily. Rounding out the rest of your top 5, Corey Bigley. Big-time bounce back after that contact that sent him, what do we call that? They're not jumpy trucks, so what? We'll call this a jumpy car. He was just flying through the infield So good bounce back for P4. Mark Truxell, excellent job. One of your biggest movers tonight. Rounds out your top 5. Joshua Ingram and Brandon Schumann finished 6th and 7th. Steve Rada brings it home in 8th. You've got Chase Rockford. That name always throws me off. I see the name in there, but Chase Rockford in 9th. Keenan Kimber rounds out your top 10. And then Vincent Short, Frank Griffith, the 2 drivers that made contact and had heavy damage. Unfortunate, as both of those drivers were very strong in the early stages, will round out the night in 11th and 12th. And that is your unofficial results for tonight's race at probably one of the best tracks that no longer exist. Dumb decision. I'll always say that forever and always. But you know what? These boys, they made it look good.
They did. And this is a, we can stick it to the owners of AutoClub Speedway tonight and Amazon, because they built a ton of factories on top of this place now.
Of course they did. Of course they did.
But
Bezos, come on, man.
Just so we can get our packages faster.
Oh, we're so getting canceled.
We are.
we're gonna get a cease and desist from Amazon. I swear.
It was fun while it lasted.
It was good.
I'm never getting invited back. So thanks for having me as the lead broadcaster tonight.
Going out with a bang.
Going out with a bang. I hear it. Well, now I believe I don't have my notes in front of me, but we can go to our post-race interviews. Am I correct?
You are.
And it appears we don't have John Freeman in the Discord. John Freeman to the Discord. But we have the 49 car of Dominic Bettini. Dustin, would you like to take this one?
Oh, absolutely. Mr. Bettini, this is Colton Dustin up in the Nerd TV booth. How you doing tonight, buddy?
Hey, y'all, I'm doing pretty all right. A lot better now that I got that third.
I bet, man. I tell you what, that was, first and foremost, I mean, hats off to you and the rest of the drivers. That was probably one of the best races that we have had the pleasure of calling up here. The amount of racing you guys were doing, the side-by-side, the through 2, 3, 4 wide. I mean, you guys were putting on a hell of a show and did it flag to flag. So hats off to you guys. But tell us a little bit, how was it out there in the thick of things, in the thick of the hornet's nest out there for 60 laps?
I'd say that was really stressful, to be honest. These cars right now are a lot tighter than I like to drive them, and I'm liable to burn the right front off if I just keep pushing it. So that was my main goal right there, was to just keep that on. Try to keep track position, because track position just was super important all night, and just kind of confidence, really, just confidence on what my moves were, and was trying not to take anyone out, and I think I did a pretty good job of that tonight. But that was so much fun. That was so much more fun than I thought Fixed Auto Club would be, and just thanks for y'all for having a broadcast, and thanks for the league for putting it out there.
Oh, absolutely. I tell you what, man, that was, I mean, we know Derek Runge won the race, but I'm not going to lie. I mean, the battle that was going on from 2nd through 5th was where the cameras were at crossing the line. Tell us about that buildup. I mean, we know that Mark Truxell was trying. He'd been trying for about 12 to 15 laps to get that run, and you were holding him at bay. And then when Freeman and Bigley got up there, tell us a little bit about that battle and that drag race all the way to the line for a fantastic finish. By the way, iRacing stats on that one put you and Freeman at a dead tie at the line for that. That's how close and good it was. But tell us a little bit about that.
Oh man, if I was smart, I would have just gone a little bit lower, try to get just a teeny tiny bit more track position, because I just didn't have anything for him at the end. He had better tires, and I tried my hardest to keep them underneath me, but at the end of the day, when they got to me, they got to me. I just tried to hold them off the best I could. I knew I was not going to let Mark pass, but I kind of kicking myself a little bit. Could have gotten that one extra thousandth. I think that was possible, but just didn't have it, and just honestly been a kind of a crappy couple weeks for me in iRacing, so we just needed a good solid run there and an interview to kind of help with the nerves.
I tell you what, and it's funny you say that too, because in the pre-race, the Countdown to Green, presented by Icon Apparel Company, that's something that Colt and I talked about, was that you were the regular season champion You know, I mean, you were super strong, and then yet, you know, typical driver's luck. Every driver, whether it's real driver, iRacer, doesn't matter. We hit that lull, you know, and that's where you've kind of been the last couple weeks. So tell us how this helps that momentum, builds that confidence going in now that we're getting ready to start the next round of the playoffs.
I feel like Richmond's one of my favorite tracks, and I just kind of screwed that up last week horribly. Um, and it's just honestly a lot of it's been bad luck, some of it's been driver error. I got taken out at I can't even remember right now, Nashville Fairgrounds. That fixed race got spun, didn't get a caution. But you know, Auto Club's not a track that I've been historically very good at. Not a huge fan of these huge tracks, but like it was very racy tonight, and to be able to run as well as I did all night long, that's big confidence booster heading into where'd you say it was next week?
Next week. Where is that at next week? I will tell
Dover.
you, Dover.
Oh, well, historically, that's a pretty terrible track for me, but it's turning a corner, so we'll see how it goes.
Well, coming from the guy that said that you typically don't like these bigger tracks, and you were up front most of the night, I mean, maybe that corner will turn, and maybe it'll work out for you. But I tell you what, man, hell of a run, solid podium, definitely well deserved and well earned. Glad to see you get back on that horse again. But the floor is yours, man. Anybody you'd like to thank? Any shout outs you'd like to give?
I got plenty of shout outs. I'd like to thank my friends Derek, Rodney, Aaron, Jason, my teammates Peyton and Keenan, special lady Kenzie that's watching tonight, and if my mom is watching too, I don't send her the link, but if she's watching, hello mom, and everyone who watched, thanks for coming out, and I hope you were entertained. Congratulations to Derek Runs on that win though. He was killing it all night.
That he was, and yes, it was definitely a good race to watch. Congratulations again. Can't wait to see what you have in store, my man, for the next round of the playoffs. So we'll look forward to seeing you in action next week at Dover.
All right, thank you, sir. Have a good night.
You as well.
Bye-bye.
All right, that was driver of the 49, Derek Bettini. We still do not have our second place finisher in here, Colt. So I guess that means that I'm throwing it back to you. And I think we're going to end up visiting the Icon Apparel Company, Victory Lane, for a one Mr. 99 Derek Runge.
That we are. As we're going to get him pulled up into the channel. Derek Runge, the driver of the 99 in Victory Lane. You got a copy, buddy?
Yes, sir.
Man, you put on a absolute clinic of a race tonight. How we talked about it all race long, that we thought the leader was going to be a sitting duck all the way through our pre-race, early on in the race, and man, you got past one time. How did you maintain that lead position with all these guys with the huge big drafts behind you, and you were able to just keep your cool and almost coast home to Victory Lane tonight?
I mean, this biggest thing is just here. I mean, normally the leader is the sitting duck, but when it comes to the guys that are trying to pass you, they always end up trying to overdrive it. And if you can just you can back up your corner a little bit, but overdrive it just a hair bit more too, then you can manage to be side by side with them. And eventually they got to lift because they ain't gonna make the corner. And with the group of guys we got, I just, I put my trust in them that they're gonna lift. And well, if they didn't, well, it's gonna look like the rest of the races it's been this year. But yeah, just kind of put my faith in them and just kind of kept it on the boards and kept moving forward.
What were your thoughts going through your mind there when the pit cycle hit? Y'all went flag to flag. No cautions tonight, only a few minor incidents. But what was your thought process when you got on the pit road and you came back out? Everybody kind of staggered their laps a little bit, but Mark Truxell pit early, and he came out a second or two ahead of you on track. Were you worried at all about that? Did you feel like your tires were going to come in at the right time? Maybe he burned his stuff off. Did the thought even cross your mind that second pack of Freeman and Bigley were going to catch you there at the end, or were you just eyes forward?
I mean, for the most part, I was eyes forward. I knew going into the pit stop, depending on how they came out with their laps, I mean, I knew we weren't going to be spread out very far. The draft in the ARCA car, sadly, is just insane. So once you get in within like even at 2 seconds, I mean, you're having just a sniff. And then once you're under a second, I mean, it's just game on. So I knew at some point they were going to get there. It just depended on when. But I knew when they did get there, their tires were going to be pretty well killed. So I was just going to go right back to defense. But luckily, there at the end, I was kind of just starting to leg it out on my own. So.
Yeah, well, you definitely had this race, in control pretty much that entire time. I'm gonna open the floor up to you. I mean, you got anybody you want to thank or shout out before we let you go and celebrate this win?
Yeah, just I mean, all you guys. I mean, both broadcasts, the whole league. I mean, you guys do a hell of a job. It's a lot of belly aching every now and again, but you guys all come together. We do a great job putting on a show. I hope you guys had a good time tonight. That was kind of the main thing too, just have fun and put on a good show. And then all the guys with the teams, Dominic, Keenan, Rodney, all them, they kind of keep me going, making sure I keep racing even when I don't want to. So, yeah, that's about it.
This man
believe
says,
me, we
I
had a
hope.
blast.
Yeah, I was about to say, this man says, I hope it was a good show. My man, it went flag to flag. It was 2, 3, 4 wide. I mean, that was some of the best racing that you guys have put on. So hats off to all of you guys, because that was an amazing show.
Well, hell yeah. That's awesome. I hope Sunday can be a repeat.
Yeah, 100%. I think it will with the group of guys that we had. Well, congratulations, man. Go enjoy this one. Go celebrate, and we'll see you in maybe next week.
Yeah, should be here next week. I hope. Anyway, it's good to be back in victory lane. It's been a while.
Yeah, well, congratulations, man. Great race tonight.
Thank you.
Well, that's going to round up our interview portion of the race. Dustin, I'm just, you know me. I when I get talking, I talk a lot, but I am at a loss for words at the race that we saw tonight. I am just blown away by the quality that these guys put up tonight. Just some insane racing, insanely clean racing. Like we mentioned, flag to flag, we have a tie for second place. I mean, it looked like the opening scene of Cars where Bettini and Freeman are sticking their tongue out trying to see who can get ahead there at the line, and just some great racing tonight.
Oh, and it absolutely was. I mean, fantastic showing by these drivers. I mean, they showed up and showed out from the drop of the green flag. I mean, the racing that we've seen from the start of the race, it was like that all the way through the end of the race. Obviously, I mean, like you said, a dead heat tie on iRacing telemetry for P2. It was like that from flag to flag. It was fantastic. So glad that it was an awesome show for such a great track. Again, it's sad. I know Brian Powers mentioned that they killed this track for nothing. They 120% did. If this track always posed some of the best racing, especially if you can get the right car and the right group of drivers on there, this is the product you get. So fantastic job. And I got to say fantastic job to you, Colt, as we get ready to close stuff out. You jumped in last minute. Jeremy's family trip was planned. And you know what? I kind of threw that on you. I didn't even give you an option, really. I believe our Discord DM started with, all right, you ready to lead tonight? And you didn't hesitate. Well, a little bit, but you jumped in. You did a fantastic job, my guy. So for your first time leading, excellent race to call. And I tell you what, it has been fun up here in the booth with you tonight.
Well, I appreciate it, man. I always go back and watch our broadcast. I'm a little hesitant tonight because I know I'm going to critique myself, but I really had a blast. Thanks for jumping in and helping out and being the producer. I know that's a lot of work. It's a full-time job every week, and you were working 2 full-time jobs tonight. So watching both feeds that I have running, you did a great job running the cameras and maintaining broadcasting tonight. And so I really enjoyed it, and I want to thank you guys for letting me do it. Jeremy, hope you are enjoying your trip, and we'll be back next week for Dover. Yeah,
Dover it is. So, in the words of Jeremy, again, we'll see you same bat time, same bat channel. He doesn't actually say that, but I'm going to throw that part in there. So we'll be back here again, ProSim Racing, next Thursday. Again, racing action will start at 9 p.m. Eastern. We will be live Sunday for the Global Racing League Truck Series as they continue their playoff run. And again, that will be at 7 Eastern is when that will kick off. But as Jeremy says, you guys stay safe out there and get your nerd on. And as always, from me to you guys, it's not goodbye. It's just till next time. Stay nerdy.